Hey guys, Black Zero here. So today we're gonna go over Trevenant and do some gameplay on him. I'll show you some gameplay matches. A lot of people don't understand Trevenant. I actually think he fits in the meta. I would say he's more of a S tier Pokemon right now. I don't know about the S yet, and the only reason why I say that is because he evolves at level 5 and not 4 like a Slowbro or Wiggly would. I think if he evolved at level 4, he definitely would be S tier, no questions asked. But he's definitely at least A tier, in my opinion. So I put him at level 12 because I go over level 12 stats, because 9 times out of 10 you'll be 12 by the 2-minute zap fight versus being 13 by the 2-minute zap fight. So I figured, hey, why not show these stats and then you guys could watch some gameplay. I'm going to give you guys some ideas of how to play him coming to this DB Unite. I feel like showing DB Unite stats versus just showing you what the build I do in DB Unite is, you know what I mean? We could show the build here basically, so we don't have to like show it in DB Unite. And we can talk over the stats. So I think this will be a lot more better for you guys so you can understand stats as well as how to play this character. So we go over his passive. Basically his passive, he gets like a focus band with his passive, so he heals, it'll proc at 35% or lower, and it heals 0.5 seconds for 4 seconds, so you're getting 8 heals per tick. It doesn't say how much, or it does say how much, I'm sorry, it does. It heals, I think, I don't really know this percent wise, but it heals enough. It's basically a focus band. Can't really say, you know, how much it heals because it won't give me the percent amount, which is sad. And the higher the level, the more it heals, by the way, guys. So his attack is both normal and boosted attack resets the cooldowns of Trevenant's move by 0.5 seconds. So every 2 attacks you do, it'll reset a second. So you always want to be in people's faces just to make sure you attack them for sure. His boosted attack, no matter how much damage you do, if you do 1 damage, if you do 5 per million damage, you're always going to hit, or you're always going to heal 5% of your health back. Always. So just remember that. You can always heal 5% of your health back every boosted attack you do. And that's why I think he's one of the only few characters that can run Muscle Band. I would rather you guys use Focus over Muscle. But if you want to get more damage early game and stuff, that is the way to go. You can, I would recommend if you do replace something, replace Score Shield with Muscle. I wouldn't replace the Focus Band because I think the Focus Band is like really makes him more sustained and stuff in team fights as well. Anyways, that's his boosted. And a lot of people, I think his early game's really good just because of Will of Wisp. If you hit, what you want to do is basically hit like the tank and or the DPS, and if you get like a couple hits off this, you're lowering their attack and special attack by 5% for 3 seconds, and it does overtime damage as well. It's really good because like they might rely on their full damage for early secure, but that 5% early game really hurts a lot of mon versus late game. I don't think this buff late game helps, but he doesn't have it late game anyway, so it's not like, you know what I mean, useful late game. But early game, I really think 5% off their attack and special attack is really good. It'll get your team more of a getting a secure. It also does, so we'll go to like level 3 here, or level 2. Usually you'll be level 2 when you come to the first Adeno mid neutral, but you'll do 303 damage with the main, and then you'll do 76 times 3 damage. So you do quite a bit damage, but I wouldn't really try to use this for secure, to be honest. I would just use this to lower their damage, and your team should have more of a higher chance to secure versus their team. But yeah, Will of Wisp is really good early. So the upgraded skills is Wood Hammer and Curse. Sorry about the ads. I don't know why DB Unite has this. I don't know how to take it off. So if any of you do, please let me know in the description. But we'll go over Wood Hammer and Curse. And I think ever since Wood Hammer got buffed, I think Wood Hammer's the better option to go. Trevenant pulls back its arms and attacks, dealing damage to enemies in the area of effect and pulls them in front of Trevenant. leaving them unable to act for 0.5 seconds. If this attack deals damage to at least one enemy, a follow-up attack will be available for 5 seconds. This follow-up attack slams down a giant wooden hammer in front of Trevenant, dealing damage to any enemy it hits and leaving them unable to act for 0.6 seconds. So basically it's 1.1 seconds you can leave them to act. But here's the catch: the lower Trevenant's HP, the longer the enemy will be left unable to act. It doesn't give me the time, so I don't know. Like I said, they really kind of need to like... Demon Unite's really a good source, but we know that it lasts longer. We just don't know how long. This whole mobile game needs updated. The side effect to this is every time you use this, you lose 7% health. But you do a lot of damage on first and second hit. Yeah, so the upgraded version's really well, works really good too. Is every time you hit an enemy with the second part of your hammer, it reduces damage dealt by enemies hit by the second hammer reduces by 20% for 3 seconds. So when you hit the enemy, with the hammer, it reduces their damage by 20%. So basically it's all, which is really good. But you got to hit with the second part of your hammer. So if you hit the full team, they're losing 20% more damage for 3 seconds on top of a stun. So that's really good. Curse creates a curse zone in exchange for 4% max HP per second for 6 seconds, dealing damage over time. The enemies in the area of effect every 0.5 and for 6 seconds. And decreasing their movement speed. The lower Trevenant's HP is, the greater the decrease in the other Pokemon team's movement speed. While using this move, Trevenant builds up curse power. Every time it deals or receives damage, releasing this built-up power will deal additional damage to enemies in the area of effect. If the curse power is at maximum when it's released, the cooldowns of Branch Poke, Horn Leech, and Pain Split are reset. It does this 12 times, 159 times 12. If you want to add that up, that's fine. And the final hit, which is the burst part of it, does 638 damage. This does quite a significant amount of damage. Level 11 increases the radius. I just don't think this move resets your other skills cooldowns. It's good for that. You got your boosted attack for that. Every time you boost it, you get lower cooldowns on your skills. So I just don't think this works, because the fact that he loses 4% max HP per second and lasts 6 seconds, so it's a total of 20% HP loss as well. You can get it back with Horn Leech and stuff, but at least with this one, you're not losing as much when using this move, and it's more of a CC crowd control move versus this move that doesn't have any CC crowd control unless it's movement speed. And if you're using a X speed or a full heal, well, this becomes irrelevant. It really does. I mean, the stuns become irrelevant too, but at least you can stun them first before they can use it, or they have to full heal out of it, but at least X speed doesn't work on this, so which is really good. We'll go down to Branch Poke. Put this at level, I say 2. Trevenant jabs direction, dealing damage to enemies, and decreases their movement speed by 30% for 2 seconds when it hits. This is basically your secure, but you have to time it really right. 363 is not a lot of damage versus a Wiggly's double slap that can do 800-900 damage for secure. But you do got your boosted, or you do got your attacks ending your boosted as well, and it actually does pretty good damage. So your secure would probably be your Hoopa and your Ninetales, or whoever you're playing bot with. It doesn't have the greatest secure in the game, so that's the only basically side effect you're taking into this game is this right here. But it's still good for securing, or you can use it to hit them to lower the movement speed so they can't get to it on time. Somehow you guys made the Athena go to your side, which is really good. So we'll talk about Horn Leech and Pain Split. Charge forward, becoming unstoppable, which is really good. Dealing damage to enemies and stunning them while dashing to the designated duration of the end of the charge. Enemies that were shoved I'm going to put him at level 12. Enemies that were shoved are dealt additional damage and then thrown colliding with an enemy. While charging recovers Trevenant's HP 3 times, and the lower Trevenant's HP, the more HP it is recovered. After this move is hit an enemy, Trevenant's next 3 basic attacks deal more damage and reduces this move's cooldown by 0.5 seconds for each enemy hit when they hit. So just remember, the next 3 attacks, basic attacks, deals more damage and reduces this move's cooldown by 0.5 seconds. So you're already getting the 0.5 seconds from your passive plus this, so basically at the next 3 attacks you recover 3 seconds already of this cooldown. So you basically want to be in people's faces and auto attacking them, especially after Horn Leech. You're just going to get it back really quick. That's why I don't think a lot of people do curse for Horn Leech. There's no reason for it, just because you're boosted, and this effect alone really helps. Now we're going to get to this right here. So remember, every time you use Horn Leech on someone, if you're below 40% health, you gain 6% HP back. If you're low, between 40 and 70, you gain 5, and if you're above 70, you gain 4. But this is 3 times. So if you hit someone with Horn Leech, you're getting 18% back if you're below 40. Most of the time, you're probably only going to get 1 or 2 dots of this, and then get this second and third time. So you'll probably get like 6%. 11, 16% most of the time. You're 9 times out of 10 you're not going to get the 18%, 200%, unless you're like 1 HP, and yeah, you'll get that, but most of the time you just want to use the move when it's up anyways. But overall, you're still getting 12% health back every time you use this move, even if you're above 70. So it's really good. He's just got a lot of sustain in this game that he can sustain fights, and that's just why I think he works really well with Decidueye. A lot of people are underestimating Decidueye bot, but like, if Trevenant and Decidueye's early games are really bad, but if you can get them to their level 5 stages, it turns it around. So mid to late game, they will pretty much own the lane versus the early game. So just remember that. But he the level 13 one, and don't expect to get the 13s, by the way, guys, because it's just they need to either put these upgraded moves on tanks and supports to 12. I don't really like go about 13s on these, just because most of the time you're not gonna be 13 by 2 minutes, unless for some reason the other team's really feeding hard and you are. Sometimes you'll be 13, but 9 times out of 10, when you're facing a good team, you're not gonna be 13, you're gonna be 12 a lot. So just remember that. After using this move, Trevenant's movement speed is increased for a short time, which is really good for an upgrade skill. But like I said, I wish it was level 12. It would be so much more better if it was that way. Pain Split is basically weird but good as well. Creates a link between Trevenant and designated enemy for 6 seconds. While the link, a portion of the damage Trevenant receives is redirected to the enemy, which is 17% below 40, 13 40 to 70, and 9% 70 or above. A portion of the Trevenant receives a redirect to the linked enemy. The lower Trevenant's remaining HP, the greater the percentage of damage that is redirected. Additionally, if Trevenant's percentage of remaining HP is lower than the linked enemy, this move continuously deals damage and recovers Trevenant's HP equal to the damage dealt every 0.5 seconds. If Trevenant and the linked enemy are too far apart, the linked enemy will disappear. Using this move increases Trevenant's move speed for a short time. This is good early when you use it, so it'll give him like a 35% increase. It's okay. The only part of this is like Horn Leech always heals, and you have to have less HP than the other Pokemon for this effect to go on. So you're always gonna do damage no matter what. You're always gonna. It's basically like a Rocky helmet in a way. Deflect damage, but in the end, this has no CC at all. So I don't think this is as useful as. Oh yeah, the upgraded is at 8.5 seconds instead of it lasts at 8.5 seconds. I just don't think this is as useful as this, because you can Horn Leech like 3 people if they're like stuck together. You can literally Horn Leech multiple Pokemon, and you can only do one of this. So I highly recommend you would not use Pain Split, at least for right now. Maybe if they buff it and he stacks it to 2 people or something, I think this will be more useful, or raise this up or something. I have no idea how you would buff this, but for sure I would not use Pain Split. It's just really bad. Now we're going to Phantom Force. Creates a forest, dealing damage to enemies, mark them, decreasing their movement speed for a short time. For a short time afterward, the basic attacks of Trevenant and allies still increase damage to enemies that were marked in smooth. Trevenant also gains his shield for 6 seconds. Granted a shield for 6 seconds when this move hits an enemy. The shield effect is strengthened if he hits more than one enemy. While Trevenant is shielded, HP recovery effects applied to Trevenant are increased by 50%. So when you use this, by the way, I think the damage you do is increased by 20%. Don't quote me on it, so if anyone thinks this is wrong, let me know. But anyone that's watching, you're gonna do increased damage. Like, it's really crazy and good. Yeah, so his Phantom Force is really good. A lot of people underestimated. So like I said, this goes up 50%. So like if you, let's say, do, you know, your boost attacks heals 5%. Every boost attack you'll be healing 7.5%, right? Same with what is it? Horn Leech. If you heal 6%, you'll be healing, I think, 9%. Yeah, 9%. This will be like 8%. I think this will be 6% or 7%, something like that. Don't quote me, I'm kind of bad on math. But I figured I would let you guys know how to play Trevenant. I'll show some gameplay video on it. Or maybe I could just, yeah, maybe I'll just show this and then make another video of Trevenant gameplay for you guys. That way you guys will understand the concept, because I don't want this video to be too long. I'm already recorded for 16 minutes. But I figured I would show you these stats with him and why Trevenant is actually really good. And a lot of people are underestimating him. His early game, like I said, is not the greatest, but if you play it smart, even if you lose neutral or Dino, because that's the only like thing you should lose. And if they push your lane, guys, just A press them. You know, don't attack your Adino down there until you A press them and you push them back more. They're gonna retreat. They're not gonna try to contest that at full health. And if they do, they're gonna die for it. A lot of people don't A press and don't know how to play lane. I'll explain lanes better in another video. I figured. I just wanted to give you guys a heads up of, like, you know, how to play Trevenant. And Trevenant, I really think you guys can run him bot lane for sure. Like I said, his early game's not the greatest, but you can make the other two Pokemon work around the early game, and you basically can come back. You know what I mean? Once you're 5, you pretty much own that lane from now on. He's just got a lot of sustain, a lot of healing. I did forget to go over the builds. You want Buddy, Focus, and Score. You can switch Score for Muscle. Even though this is the same. Oh yeah, you can switch Score for Muscle if you want to get more boosted attacks quicker, deal more damage earlier. You can do that. So it's up to you. It's a preference thing, but you are missing out of 450 health. Then you are missing out of a Score Shield in game if you need a score. So just remember that. Battle item, I think Slow Smoke's the way to go, especially you'd be able to get your like Horn Leech off. You'd be able to get your hammers off a lot easier. I think Focus Band is like really good for him to do. So yeah, if you guys got any questions or anything, just hit me up on Discord. I will be making a lot of these guide videos through this now on DB Unite, and then I'll probably show a gameplay YouTube video after. So hopefully you guys like and subscribe. If you want to see a guide on a certain Pokemon, I have played every Pokemon in this game. Not the best with some of them, but I know their skills enough to play them and to review them. So hopefully you guys understand. I will talk to you guys in the next video.